First is marketing operational dashboard. Marketing operational. So obviously the name suggests the meaning of it. Marketing performance dashboard is one of the top operational dashboard in these three categories. Marketing operational dashboard shows the performance of three campaigns over 5 to 12 weeks. Anything. I just given an example there. Whenever you do any kind of advertisement on any platform, so what is the reach of your advertisement? How many people have seen that? How many people have responded that? How many people have purchased it or have performed operations with that particular marketing, particular product or service, that we can accommodate in the form of the dashboard. That is called as marketing operational dashboard. And the response, we can see over the time, over a period of time, like over the period of days or weeks or months or years, that we can see. So it provides important operational information and the key performance indicators for marketing team on cost per acquisition, total number of clicks, total acquisition gained, and amount spent in a specific campaign. Yes, if you're done advertisement on special website, like let's say example of Facebook, the most popular website in the social media category, many millions of people are there who are using the social media like Facebook, and this is one of the main platform where we can reach maximum number of customers. Okay, so whenever I'm opening a campaign, I'm starting a campaign for my product or for my service, it may reach to multiple number of users. They may see that particular advertisement in their newsfeed basically, and if they're interested, okay, most of the time the advertisement is something like that. The people are interested in that. They have searched that kind of product or that kind of online on Google or on Facebook. So accordingly, the suggestions will be given to them in the form of ads. Okay. So some people may see and just leave it. Okay, just will just ignore. Some people may click that ad. Some people may purchase actually, like all. So the complete analysis is shown there. If you are done advertisement, we'll get that idea. Lot many factors are there that are involved in the marketing of it. So these marketing things are shown in the marketing operational dashboards. Everything which is just mentioned this, any significant changes would immediately alert marketing team. By this analysis, marketing will know what is your reach, okay, which kind of people are responding to ad, or in which demographic maximum people are getting into this particular part, or they are interested in the product. Their feedback also we can see. Okay, based on that, dynamically we can change your campaign, and once the campaign is changed, you can again reach to multiple or more number of customers. So marketing operational dashboard will contain everything in this way. Why it's useful? Because fast-paced marketing department or agency can adjust their operation activities based on real-time data. I have started a campaign, but within 2 days or 3 days, the campaign is not running well. So you just can get in that insights, and based on that, you change your campaign, change your directions of campaign, online digital marketing campaign, like that just was possible. Operational activity will be adjusted based on real-time data, and teams don't have to wait for extensive or traditional reports. Advertisement ended, and after that, you are going to have a report, and then we'll see we have spent that, what we achieved. No, real-time data analytics can be seen on the dashboard. That's what the advantage is. We can identify what's your reach, where you are lagging, where you are actually need an improvement, so that maximum profit can be gained from this advertisement online. Okay, so this marketing operation dashboard will show everything in that. This will not generate any special reports. They will show in the graphical format like bar charts or pie charts, or they will show the line graphs, progress, time series analysis. All that can be seen. Check this out. Operational marketing operational dashboard is that. So here in this particular dashboard, so you can see total amount spent, total pounds spent, 67 pounds total spend. Out of that, campaign number 1 has got 21.88, campaign 2 has got 22.66, 23.66, campaign 3 is 22.076, something like that. All Means I have spent that amount, and then how it is distributed, that we have seen, and how many impressions. Impressions mean the people that we have seen. So people have seen 71.678 total impressions are there. Out of that, how many clicks are there? So 2.203 the total clicks, and how many acquisitions we got? That is 106. And what is the cost for acquisition? So the people you attracted people, but what's the ratio? Okay, how much amount of money you have spent to attract the particular people towards you? That's what the cost for acquisitions. Okay, so 620, 631 pounds are mentioned there, like. And you can see in the graphical format also, just you can check it out. First campaign has reached almost to the end. This campaign is 75% completed, this campaign is 40% completed. That we can find. Okay, and even by graph from last 12 week, what is the performance of all the campaigns that we are running for marketing? Even daily impressions by campaign can also be seen, or we can have acquisition by company last 12 weeks for first campaign, for second campaign, for third campaign, in different color combinations, like. So whenever you are running any online digital marketing campaign, so the current analysis, current phase, that particular dashboard, current particular campaign in the dashboard format can be seen by this method. Second is LinkedIn operational dashboard. LinkedIn, just take an example there. We can choose any other professional networking site also, where we can run the operations on. So we continue a list of operation dashboard with LinkedIn. This social media network is critical for building business relationship. You might be knowing, you might be having an account onto it. If you don't have, create that account. Put your professional information on the LinkedIn. Most of the opportunities for job and for the work you can get from the LinkedIn also. This is my experience, so make it clear. So this is social media for building business relationship, either on a profile level or company. Profile level or company. Company may be interested in you, or your profile or a person to person can also be there. So with the number of users steadily growing and reaching more than 610 million members in 2020, about LinkedIn. So LinkedIn should be a higher priority for companies that want to reach decision makers and business professionals. That's why LinkedIn I just think. So whenever we have to go ahead with your business, you have to do analytics of your business online. So the best social media that we generally prefer here is the LinkedIn, where all business professionals or working professionals also, that's from their professional business point of view, they're active, they're online on the LinkedIn. That's why that's very important. So if you're running a campaign on LinkedIn, or if you're searching for something on LinkedIn, if you've posted some jobs on LinkedIn, or if you're searching for some people, some persons who are interested in technologies, so we are making use of the LinkedIn there. So your company may also having the account on their LinkedIn website. So to effectively manage a company's presence, companies can use an operational data dashboard that will solve multiple social media problems, such as automation, customization of reports, and provide advanced analytical features. Let's take a look at operational dashboard design, for example, specifically created for the LinkedIn. See, this is your company page. See, if you want to promote your company on the LinkedIn, so you're getting such kind of things. I want to have the reach of my company. So almost every company is having their own Facebook page, their own Twitter account, their own LinkedIn account, their own Instagram account also. But keeping all three aside, first three aside, we are having the LinkedIn is a professional network. So when you are reaching to maximum number of person on LinkedIn, it means that you are reaching to maximum number of business professionals on LinkedIn. So how your reach is? So is there possible to create a page on LinkedIn? So example of LinkedIn page is given. Check it out. How many followers you have gained in a specific month? Total followers are 74789, and you have gained plus 3.9% this week. Weeks are given here, check it. 2080, 33 week, 34 week, 35, 36, 37, and week by week, how many number of follows are increased, that is shown by that. Okay. Out of it, how many people are engaged in the company activities? So that's what mentioned over here. Last 90 days is also shown, but in last 90 days it is decreasing. How many likes are there? 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay, 95 shares are there, 211 comments, and total engagement of 1,529. Engagement rate is 3.25%, and still the progress week by week that you can see. Okay, so we can find to which particular kind of post you are getting maximum impressions or maximum number of people are there, and many more statistics like that. So see here, impressions versus unique impressions with the people who are interacting your company for the first time on LinkedIn, and general impressions are the general number of people who are we are reached to that particular number of people there, or click through rate, click through. So we have posted some links, and people have clicked that links, not only links, even videos also, or the uh, pictures, images also. So that clicks, that we can see 1,700 clicks are there, and click through rate is 3.7. Out of all people who has seen, how many people have clicked on that? Okay, that's we can see here. Okay, so here also one last information shown, this click through rate is shown there. You can check it out. There's one update shown here, how to track the finance in real time. Okay, publication is mentioned, and what is the click through rate? 2.53%. Next is 1.70, 1.70, 0.66, 1.83. That's how many people have seen, and how many people have actually clicked on that link that we can find, and then follows by the company industry, like followers. How many people are from advertising industries? Okay, how many are from marketing industries, how many for finance services, how many are from the consulting industries, like that we can see. So where we have to move your focus, business focus, that we can decide from it. That's what the dashboard will summarize the information for you in this particular format. So LinkedIn operational dashboard, this is getting updated after every few months, few sorry, not few months, few days, one by one day it's getting updated, and you can see the information of the things week by week everywhere. This is possible, or this is given by the company, those who are having active official account or official page for your company, and that's is given to everyone. That's what's possible. You can check it out. Basically, we may not having a LinkedIn account, LinkedIn page account. Okay, it's professionally available only when having your own firm or business. So that time, this kind of insight we can see for your LinkedIn operational dashboards. Third kind of the operational dashboard is customer service operational dashboard. So one of this example is connected with the customer related services. So by having all the important customer service KPIs on a single screen, the team can manage its operation much more efficient. Everything about the customer service engagement. So let's do a visual example how the customer service dashboard is there. Okay, so see this one. Customer service dashboards. So customer have contacted us, or we have contacted the customers. Then what exactly has happened? That's shown over here. Let's see that. So this type of dashboard expounds on customer service team performance over the shorter time frame. Customer team, the people or the team from company side who are actually interacting with the customers, maybe through online methods or maybe by calls. Okay, and on daily basis, on call by call basis, or weekly basis, or multiple call basis, how the customer have responded to the company. So like additional overview of the first, second, third call, unresolved calls, that we can see that the customer service dashboard is divided into two parts: the resolution and the response time. You have resolved that query, like service is provided by the company, and customer need a service, customer will contact us, and based on that we are providing the services, we are providing the calls, we are providing the interaction toward the customer. So we can see that this is resolution and the response time, two parts are there. Each day of the week gives an additional insight which helps team to reduce response time metric if they track it on regular basis. Check this out, the two parts. Above part is the resolution. Okay, resolution, customer have given a complaint, and that complaint is resolved after how much time? Okay, by your customer, a customer care executive, okay, who will be or many, a team of customer care executive will be there, or a single customer care executive will be there, will be performing operations, okay, will be interacting with the users and then performing operations with that. So how it's possible there? Like you can see, it's showing first call resolution 61%, when the customer has given a first call, and in the first call itself the query got resolved. Fine. First call. And unresolved calls, how many unresolved calls are there? Till 9% calls are unresolved. Correct. And the progress also shown, you can check it out. This progress is shown here. Again, by month is given. In the first call, almost 60 to 50% rate is there. In second call, 30 to 40% it is there, the call resolution possible. And for the third call, almost 10% resolutions are there. Okay, that you can 50 to 60, 30 to 40, or 10 plus minus something. That's we can observe, means we can identify that our resolution of the call is done in the first call itself. Resolution of this problem from company's side is done in the first call, maximum of them. We can reduce the number of calls in the second call and third call and making first call resolution at max, as we can see. Unresolved calls still 9%. Then the person who is responsible for the team of customer service will take care of it, or will have some decision what to do in this case. So the number of calls resolution, then the first call will be more and unresolved calls will be less. See the second part, the response time, average response time. Response time is also given. So on Monday, what's the response time? In Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like the response time in seconds is mentioned. So on what particular time response time is less? Which one? Saturday and Sunday. Common holidays for everyone. That's why everyone look for the service in that time. That maybe the reason that you can have, and you can see that. Okay, so based day to call, because the time required to resolve is 22 seconds on Wednesdays, that we can analyze. So this kind of analytics can be given from customer's point of view. So customer will call on Tuesday. 37-second average response time, that's from the customer service dashboard is showing. So the services connected to the customers and their analytics, their operations will be shown from the customer service operational dashboard. So how the services are actually in operation, they are used, you can see by this kind of the dashboards here. Yeah, this is the second kind of dashboard that we are implementing. And third kind of dashboard is the analytical dashboard. Analytical dashboard is a type of dashboard that contains vast information, a vast amount of data created and used by analysts to provide support to the executives. Used by the analyst. So data analyst will use that data, and they will provide this support to the executive, that yeah, this is what the analysis that we have. Okay, this is analysis we have, and based on that analysis we will perform some operations further. That's part of the analytical dashboard. Okay, so supply with comprehensive array of data, the middle management being crucial part of this usage. So this is very important to have analytics from different point of view. Different kind of analysis will be shown, and this analysis will be used by middle management commonly. Middle management to how do we improve your services, how do we proceed with the services, that we need to know, and that we can identify by using analytical dashboards. Okay, so what's the importance of this dashboard lies within their impact on historical data usage. What was happened, that we can see in the data analytics. So they can identify the trend. Now see what we have seen about machine learning analytics. That analytics will help us to build the algorithm. Okay, it will help to build the algorithm based on some factors like trend, patterns, groups, rules. Okay, so analysts can identify the trend, compare them with the multiple variable, and create the predictions and targets. Correct. So without using any specialized algorithm, in graphical format, in visualized format on dashboard, the decision making is possible, prediction is possible, target identification is possible, which can be implemented in a business business intelligence strategy of company. Yeah. What is business intelligence? So we are making use of analytical technique, machine learning technique, the science technique to improve your business. So business strategies will be defined by the analytical dashboard visualization. Remember, that's why it is very commonly used dashboard to show the data in analytical format. So they are often useful when complex categorized information is massive and broad and need visualization to perform the clear analysis of generated data. Clear analysis of the generated data. That's what is possible in this analytical dashboard. You can just view it. Even some program can also be embedded as a part of this analytical dashboard. So the result of that visualized data can be seen so much easily. It's called as analytical dashboard that we can use. So let's see, three different kind of analytical dashboards we have here, like financial performance, how company is performing financially, profitable or non-profitable, that's you can identify analytical dashboard, or procurement cost dashboards, okay, the cost involved in procurement that we can see, or retail key performance indicators, their dashboards in analytical format. So these are the way by which you can see different kind of analytics so easily. Fine. Let's talk about the first kind of dashboard, that is financial performance dashboard. So let's take an example. I'm having that example here, like this. The financial dashboard is focused on performance that can help decision makers to see how efficiently the company's capital is being spent to establish specific operational tasks to structure future decision better. Where we have spent what amount of money and what you have gained from that, how much profit you have gained, how much money you have spent, and what capital is there. Means for different department, different product, you have invested that amount of capital. Okay, so that we can see in the visualized format in the financial performance dashboard. So with the important financial KPIs such as return on assets, return on equities, working capital, and the overall balance sheet, a finance department is having a clear picture of their capital structure. Clear picture, everything that they can summarize, they can see in analytical format how exactly the things are done. Fine. So this analysis dashboard enables the department to consequently set specific operational activities to improve further. Which activities we need to set? That activities and their set can be identified with the help of the financial operational dashboards. See the example of it. Check. Financial performance dashboard here, analytics of everything is shown. Can check it now. Here, return on assets 17% are there. That's what we return. We got a return on assets. Then working capital ratio 3.2:1, working capital ratio, and that's progress is shown over here. Then a return on equity is 32%, and its progress is almost linear. That you can see here. And the next one is the debt and equity ratio is 0.4:1. Fine. And using this data, we can generate a balance sheet that also can be seen in analytical format here. Check. Total assets in what? Total assets and total liabilities. Total asset and liabilities are same. Assets are 13,42,091 and same 13,42,091. Liabilities are also there. But how that are balanced? Okay, so balance sheet is creating and presented with that. So current assets are current asset under that cash, then amount receivable, then inventory, long-term assets, like all that mentioned. And liabilities just involves that we have current liabilities, account payable, other liabilities, shareholder equities, common stock, current earnings, like everything is mentioned in total liabilities, total assets again total liabilities. And then the balance sheet will be shown something in this particular way in analytical format, and then we can decide, yeah, where we are lying, where we are going to have, where we're going to have improvement, where we're going to have loss, where is having profit. So the detailed performance of your finance can be shown by such kind of the dashboard, which is called as the financial performance dashboard. Second, Second analytical dashboard is the procurement cost dashboard. So another which is focusing on the cost, but in this case, especially for the procurement department. Procurement department. So as we know, the procurement is found in the most companies, such as function that connect the company with the supplies, contractor, freelancer, agencies. Means the third party person which are connected with the company, where the procurement cost is involved. So it's not only the critical for industries such as manufacturing, but for service oriented companies as well. So to see the analytical perspective of procurement department, let's take an example of the dashboard. Check this out. For different kind of procurement cost involved, it's shown over here. See the first one here, different cost involved, like cost of purchase order, cost reduction, cost saving, cost avoidance, procurement ROI, rate of interest, like all that. We can see how it is changing. That's graph is shown here for last 5 years, how changing. So your company is progressing or not, that you can find by this method. We have cost of purchase order is not increasing much, cost reduction is increasing, but yeah, this is from last 5 continuously is increasing. Cost saving still increasing, cost avoidance decreasing, procurement ROI linear, like connected to the cost of purchase order, that we can see. And in all, in case of cost reduction, where highest amount of cost reduction is there, where the lowest. So donut map is there, which you can see here. It's present, this one. Transistors highest, then switches, then sensor, then battery, then display, then others are present. Here procurement cost management, okay, is shown again by the saving and by the avoidance. So what saving that we got, what avoidance that we got, that's present. And top 5 supplier by cost reduction is shown. So which supplier is having highest amount of cost reduction? That is supplier number 793 is first, then supplier 632, then supplier 147, then 156, and 789, the last one, in this way. So everything that we can, even rate of interest also, procurement rate of interest, the benchmark is 10%. Okay, benchmark is 10%, but for different kind of assets, it's different. Others is having more than that, 11% is there, and for transistor it is also again 11%, 10.5% something. So the cost involved in the procurement can be shown in analytical format on the procurement cost dashboard, something like that. We can create it. It's a part of everyone's idea to manage the things at this location, what to do, when to do, how to do. This kind of questions and their answers are required to find before designing a dashboard. So this procurement department handles the large volume of data by analyzing the cost and purchase of the procurement cycle. Analysts can present that data that will provide a building block for different units in order to save the invaluable time for different unit. Okay, so that data will be present. So whatever time we are spending to perform that operations on unit will be saved. Okay, so procurement dashboard, as visualized above, can serve as a tool to present the data in visual and straightforward manner. Present this data in visual and the straightforward manner. This kind of analysis is essential since procurement department usually gather the data from multiple sources, like they gather the data using ERP that's we are having for your company. Okay, ERP is centrally design system where every part of every flow of the company is connected there. Okay, so this is one of the main source of data that's presented. Even databases, if you're having some different independent projects where we are having a databases connected, maybe data which is in tabular format is connected, or we are having a CSV files, from that data is also taken. Okay, so in order to optimize the cost management and increase the overall positive results, an analytic dashboard such as this one can prove to be beneficial. So all the angles, of procurement cost can be checked at once in a single instance by using the procurement cost dashboard. Third analytical dashboard is the retail KPI dashboard. Basically, this kind of dashboard is used in the retail industry. Okay, retail industry, when you purchase something and what kind of product, what kind of services you are gaining in retail. So that analytical information is shown in this particular dashboard. It's called an analytical retail KPI dashboard. So it creates an analytical parallel between management and the customer satisfaction, since the supply chain can directly affect it. Separate, we have supply chain dashboard also is connected with the tactical part that also we'll talk about. Supply chain means from raw material to the finished goods in the hands of customers. The process which is undertaken is called as the supply chain management. Okay. And in that retail industry, retail store is one of the vital part, just playing very vital role over there. Remember. Okay. So that's for parallel management and customer satisfaction in supply chain can directly affect it. This comprehensive dashboard shows us an overview of important aspect of retail business that enables analysts to identify trends and give management the support needed in the business processes, obviously, a retail point of view. So all the key process indicators are involved, are used in the retail for analytics of it, what exactly is happening in that system. Check this example here. Retail KPI dashboard. Okay, rate of return 26.1% that we have got. Okay, target is 31%, but that's mentioned, and 26% on average rate of return we have. See, you can see the target is not yet reached, that you can type. In graphical format, you can see it's without using a numbers. We just can make use of these particular data. Okay, and make use of this particular data to check it's working correctly. Sorry, we are working correctly or not by this method. Okay, and see the rate of return by the category that we can see. Target 31%, and from different kind of thing, like home we got 9 point home consumables we got 9.3%, beauty product we got 14%, then the next men's clothes are 17%, then footwear 19%, then children clothes are 21%, and highest women clothes are 31%. That we are, and target also almost reached, but in all we are having 26.1% rate of returns that we are getting, and different kind of retail, different kind of products where giving a rate of returns are again different for this case. Okay, and here the second part you can see 5.26% back order rate. Back order rate for the retail, 3.6% people are returning the orders back. Okay, and total volume sale is 362.14 million. That's also we can see. Customer retention 31%. Yeah, so 90 days customer retention rate is there. So customers coming to you within 90 days again to have another product purchase. 31% are coming again. And the last one, number of new and returning customers. This one is showing. Okay, so new customers are this orange one, and returning customers are the blue one. They're coming. The orange customers are the customer who came for first time, and the blue one, which are come for second or more than that number of times. That's we can see. So all the retail information that can be seen all from the KPIs format. In this way, the dashboard will show you all these things in the summary by this particular method. Okay, a snapshot of that visualization we can say about analytical retail. So as we can see the retail KPI dashboard above, some of the crucial metrics such as the rate of return, that is ROI, total number of sales, customer retention rate, and the number of new and returning customer through a set of time frame can give us a bigger picture on the state of retail business. Okay, a bigger picture, everything in the summary format. Let's take a bigger picture for retail business can be seen. So where we are lagging, where we need the improvement, where you have to focus more, or whether we have to build some association rules, that also we have seen. So that kind of decisions can be made in this particular dashboard, that is retail KPI dashboards. Okay, so these retail KPIs can show how good you are in keeping your customers and developing brand loyalty. Correct, talking about DMart. Okay, so what's the brand loyalty that they have achieved? Maybe, or Big Bazaar that you've heard about. So maybe different retail market stores they can use these dashboards to check their performance from the customer's point of view. Okay, and the management can clearly see which aspect of business need to be improved. Yeah, this is what the decision making done from the retail KPI dashboard. This is output of this particular dashboard that we can see. Predictions on different kind of decisions, like decisions or predictions on different factors in detail can be done by analytical dashboard here. See the dashboard which is coming in the third category. It's now fourth category of dashboard is a tactical dashboard. Okay. So the tactical dashboard is utilized in analysis and monitoring of processes conducted by mid-level management. Okay. Middle level management, emphasizing the analysis. This is a special dashboard actually. If you check tactical dashboard, it's not the core idea, core part of the dashboard system. Basically, we consider analytical, operational, functional dashboards. Tactical dashboard is a special kind of dashboard present. Now, different tactics, that's what is the output of tactical dashboard. So when an organization effectively tracks the performance of a company's goal and delivers analytic recommendation for future strategies, that we can find tactics is a result of it. Tactical dashboards are often the most analytical dashboard. Maximum analysis that we can get it from the tactical dashboard. So they are great for monitoring the processes that support the organization's strategic initiatives. Yeah, what tactics we need to apply to get this task done? Yes, this is what we can see from tactical dashboard. Special, as I do, special dashboard which is connected to analytics itself. But the decision making is somewhat critical when you're talking about the tactical dashboards here. So what they do, they help us guide users through the decision process. So when to take the decisions and why to take the decision, this kind of answers, this kind of questions can be answered with the help of the tactical dashboard. So they capitalize on the interactive nature of dashboard by providing users the ability to explore the data. Okay, capitalize on interactive nature of dashboard by providing users the ability to explore the data. That's any kind of data exploration will be there. See, we have seen many methods of data exploration. Not seen, I think. No, they are there. Many exploration methods are there that can be used. So it's what's called exploratory data analysis. That's one of the method that we generally use in data science. Exploratory data analysis. So step by step, different statistical methods, mathematical formulas can be applied to check every different kind of patterns in the data on is exploratory analysis, which is done in the tactical dashboard. Okay, so detail level of tactical dashboard falls between the strategic and operational dashboard. Strategic and operational. Let's say tactical sale dashboard can track your sale target, like actual revenue versus forecasted revenue. Tactical sales dashboard that will show you actual revenue and forecast. So actual that we got this forecasted by your algorithm. What will be there in future? What will be there after a few months that we can have? Called as forecasted revenue. That comparison can be shown by that. So coming with tactical dashboard, there are multiple different kind of dashboards present. Okay, before that, let's see few of the dashboards with example. See, for example, uh, let's see some of the dashboards. Yeah, see this. This is my company's dashboard. If you just check it, this is dashboard given by the YouTube. So everything that we can see here, how many number of people have reached. The total impressions are given here. Impressions. Okay, this is number of subscriber who are subscribed, views, how they're increasing. You can see plus 123 is there. Is percentage rate are given, increasing it, increasing orders given. Here also number of views, they are increasing 22%. Watch hours are 19% that you can see. Top videos, that also we check, you can check published videos, top videos, and many things that we can find. Even you can go to analytics. This is a very analytical dashboard which are showing. See, this is real-time data. You can just check it out. Total number of views, like on last 28 days, what was happened that we can see here. Okay, not the thing which is shown in the presentation. This is live data that we can see in YouTube. See, your channel got this number of views, this number of subscribers, this is watching hours that you can see 1.2 more than usual. Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. See this. This is my company's dashboard. My company's YouTube channel dashboard is there. Here, if you see dashboard, all statistics can be seen by this. If you're having own channels, you can have this dashboard also. Total subscribers, latest videos. See, everything is incrementing here. 4.2 from last 28 days, we got 22% improvement. Watch hours also 19% improvement is there. Top videos which are present. Okay, publish post, latest comments. You can see everything. The subscribers that you can check it out. Or if you want to see detailed analytics of things, so we can decide what to do, where we got highest amount of views, so we can proceed further with that. That's we can see the channel got this number of views in last 28 days, so it's watch hours. They are showing the live basis, how many hours are there day by day from February 3 to March 2, from last 28 days. Total number of subscribers, how they are changing daily basis. Okay. So when I posted a video, so see, for example, a video posted here, and on that day this number of subscribers are 11 subscribers are got extra. Okay, here also when I got posted this video, so I got 4 subscribers on that day extra. And daily basis I'm getting two subscribers, then these 6 subscribers, 8 7 subscribers, something like that. Here up times you can see all top videos in this period, and here how many views are there for the respective videos, that we can see everything. So what sort of videos are popular, so you can decide based on it. Check this out. Okay, all, even many different kind of information just we can see here, what contains, what playlist we have. And this is analytics is very important to know what sort of analysis that we have, that you can check it out. You can see the top videos, and we are continuously having these 3 videos on top from last 1 year, and the views are almost in thousands. Okay, like that. Okay, so this is what we have. One more that we can see, I'll just show you this one. This is your bloggers dashboard. Okay, they also show the similar way. You can check this out. Yeah, statistical dashboard. See, so total number of followers. Just a minute, I'll change it. Yeah, statistical dashboard. So for different posts which I have done over here, so accordingly how many views I got and how they are changing. Okay, for a particular post, how many views are there on which particular day? See, here on 27th February I got 114 views. Here I 129 views. On March 1 I got 10 views, March 2 or 3 views, and then come below. Total 260 are there, total 4 comments. If you go for all, then how views are changing. See, 21 views are here, here 164 views, 158, 127, like. So everything, all analytical information from different point of view that we can see over here in this. So here all time also again, how many followers, how many posts, how many comments, like all that we can see. This is bloggers dashboard actually that we can have. Or even if you're going to check the LinkedIn, LinkedIn dashboard. LinkedIn dashboard is available only for the company's page. If you have a company page, same case is there for the Facebook also. If you're creating a particular page, then what analysis is done for the respective page that we can see. So these dashboards are given by them. If you want to have a software which contains the similar kind of information, so it's easy to create it. In Python also is possible. We're having one practical, last practical. With this, we can create a dashboard by your own. But idea should be created from that point of view. This is how maximum information you can provide. See, here we can see the reach. This is very great. It's actually, the YouTube's dashboard is good. Even if you're having the account on Google AdSense or Google AdWords, that also having the similar kind of the dashboard. See, total impressions, click-through rate, and all. Engagement, how many people are engaged, and how many audience from different categories can also be seen. Okay, subscribers, unique viewers are there, average views, or like that. Even by what they searches it, that also you can see by gender and male. So see this one, age groups also. So watching your, and with no subtitles, with subtitles. See, demographics also. So many, in which country we are having maximum number of viewers, users, that you can see. So in India, Maximum users are the 83% users that we have. So like all that, you can see here my company's dashboard. So if you go to check this, all the impressions and every information that the LinkedIn is having, that we can see here. A minute. See, it's a super admin view is shown there. You can see this one analytics which are shown over here. Okay, so if updations are not there, obviously this will go on decreasing. No updations are done. That's why it's like that. You can see analytics here according to visitors. So all the dashboards will show you. So actually, the example which I shown, it was combining all together, but it can be done separately here according to update. See, updated highlights, how many reactions are, how many comments, how many shares, that we can see here. Step by step, we can check the, see, it is user engagement, like also different kind of dashboards are possible. Okay, they are available also. You can create. So this is the idea of general thing that we can make use of. Okay, so based on that, you decide what to do afterwards, what operation you have to do, what function you have to add, what function you have to remove. These decisions are taken with the help of such kind of the dashboard. So it's the fourth category, and again in fourth category, three kind of dashboards are there: IT project management dashboard, then social media dashboard, and supply chain management dashboard. It's SCM. Tactical dashboards, where actually the higher impact is there in the company, and these strategies will be decided by that. See, first one, IT project management. We are working in a project in IT company, and how the progress of that project is there, that we can see by using IT project management. Let's see the example of it. This is a simple example of a project. So remember, if you know the software development life cycle, maybe if you're knowing it, multiple steps are there. Your project is there. The project will start from first to second to third, fourth, fifth steps. So how it is progressing, which steps are completed, of how many percent, and which are not completed, and what time expected to complete. That things that we can see in IT project management dashboard. See, the detailed overview is given here. Check it out. See, for example, a project is required to get launched within a specific time. Let's see here, project launch date 15 December. So 121 days are remaining. That's mentioned. 121 days are remaining days are there, and the steps that we have carried according to the SDLC, like planning, design, development, and testing. So see, planning over completed, design completed, and development is 67% completed. Development. When the development is over, then we'll go for testing. So you can get an overview. Yeah, this is a project which is now currently working in. Fine. What are the risks involved in that? 81% currently over target budgets are there. Okay, like overdues are there 2 days. That was mentioned. And project summary, when it started, when it is expected to get end, when with the project leader, what's the overall status in time mentioned there. Project budget, you can see project budget. So how much amount of budget is allocated there? Okay, and accordingly, how much amount of money you have spent. Okay, over target 8.1%. That's also we can see total budget of it. And then overdue task, all the tasks who is employee, how many days are overdue, that upcoming deadlines that we can see for different employees, what they are doing, what's the deadline, how much time is remaining, like everything. Project logs are also mentioned there. So in a summary, a project which is undertaken by IT company, IT firm, okay, that progress monitoring is done by using IT project management. So here in this specific timelines, efficiency of the parties are involved in it. We can define specific risk. You can see overall progress and average time conducting a specific task is also possible by the IT project management. Okay, after the project is finished, okay, after the project is finished, we can create a comprehensive IT report, evaluate the result, and make future project more successful. Yes, evaluation. So tactical analysis for a project management is done by this particular method. So in next time, so see, one project, one dashboard we have. When I'm having another project, so I'll revise this particular dashboard. I will use another dashboard for that, and then using the previous tactics, which I'm getting some insights out of it. When I want to do this one, my time will be reduced, my risk will be reduced, like that we can do. And based on it, we'll define the further tactics on it. That is IT project management dashboard will provide you. Okay, this is what the example IT project management. So the goal of every IT management is to increase the efficiency and reduce the number of tickets and deliver successful projects. Reduction in risk also that's involved in IT project management. So by having a right tool in the form of an IT operation dashboard, a single screen can provide a project manager with the data she or he needs to analyze all the important aspect of the project. That's what is there in IT project management. So while there are various type of project dashboards, this particular visual above that's shown there said to monitor project management efforts and alarm leaders if there are any anomalies within the processes present. If there are some anomalies are present that we can rectify, deadlines related or performance of the company employee related or the team related, all that anomalies can be found, can be seen, can be visualized, can be analyzed, and the further decision making will be done on that particular project management. If it is completed in time or not within the time, we are getting some tactics out of it, some strategies out of it. So we'll apply that for the next project. That is what done by IT project management dashboard, which is coming under the tactics category over here. Okay. Okay. So before proceeding further, let's take a small break of 5 minutes and then we'll continue after it. Just take a break of 5 minutes only. Welcome back. So let's continue. So this is what the first kind of tactical dashboard present. The second one is social media dashboard. Okay, social media. So different social medias are present where we are companies having the account. We have taken the account of LinkedIn already. So apart from LinkedIn, general social media that we talk in this. Since there are different type of business intelligence dashboard that cover various purposes, we have expounded on LinkedIn as a separate channel that need to be monitored daily, keep companies in touch with their followers base, expand their reach. But now, in a tactical sense, an KPI scorecard can provide multiple benefits for managing social account, consequently ensure users to have enough data to generate recommendation for features like all that we can use. So to put this into perspective, we will show a business process focused on four main channels like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Okay, which are the main social media where different kind of information about the company can be posted. So Facebook is general media, just we can share general information about the company. Twitter is microblogging site where you can post official information plus general information. Also Instagram is especially for images. There also you can post images, infographics, ideas, views about something in the graphical or image format. And YouTube, it's a video format. So pictorial format, in video format, or in the text format. So whatever different formats are there, so we just can put it on different kind of social media and we will get the responses. So every social media is providing this tactics in this way, like number of followers that we have gained, number of impressions per post that we have achieved, number of link clicks if you have posted something, how many number of times the users or people have clicked on that particular link, so they get redirected to my company or redirected to the particular thing which are posted over there. That's all analytics we can see in the social media dashboard. See, if we talk about the Facebook, then Twitter, then Instagram and YouTube, all of their progress is shown. So you can check for Facebook, followers are 2400, target is on 500. What was that? So is it achieved? Not. We got the -4% improvement. It's not actually improvement. Okay, so that's what we can see. In previous period of the same, we are having 2-3% increment, 2.3% increment, but not we have achieved. Number of impressions like 601 is there. Our target is 20,000. Okay, it's like 20,000. So to target, we having 0.5% improvement only. Okay, link rates like they are mentioned. Okay, link clicks, number of engagement, the people who are engaged in that particular post, coming all the shares or likes or the comments, like all in that way. And then what's the click-through rate for the last 6 months that is present? That's what constant is there for all different 6 months. If you check it for all, for Twitter also, for Instagram also, for YouTube also, some targets are set, and whether you're achieving that target, that we can find with the help of these social media dashboards. So this is one of the way by which we can reach to more number of customers directly. Okay, it was not possible previously, but now everyone is getting involved in the social media, and with the help of social media, user interaction, customer interaction with the company can be improved by this particular method digitally. Okay, so the dashboard start with the Facebook, the biggest social media network in the world. Currently, more than 2.5 billion monthly users are there for social media Facebook. So in our example, we can see that the number of followers did not reach the set target, but did increase the comparison to the previous period. And we can see previous period means last year what was happened in that region at that particular point, and now it's happening. But our target is different. Our target is not reached. Okay, so in this case, social media managers can dig deeper to understand why and if this Facebook KPIs need to be particular attention. So how do I improve that? How can I do that? Can I ask my employees to share company's post so we can reach maximum number of people? Or can I use some paid campaigns so that I can use to multiple users? Or can I have some competition online on Facebook so more and more number of customers can attracted to that? Different tactics can be applied by looking at this particular social media dashboard. That's depend on the manager who are looking for the online accounts of your company. Okay. Last kind of dashboard is supply chain management dashboard. It's SCM dashboard. So when you create a tactical dashboard strategy, it's important to focus on the analytical and monitoring part of the process, that gives backbone for effective data-driven decisions. So this is what we have. The complete supply chain with logistic company is shown by the SCM here. SCM dashboards from raw material to the finished goods to in the hands of customers. What exactly the steps are there and how the different tactics will be defined in that process are shown on the SCM dashboard. Check this out. This is what we are having currently. Okay, so total inventory to sale this year. We got inventory against the sale. What's that? This is what is shown. Inventory against the sale. Increasing, decreasing, 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 increasing, like oh, as we can see. Inventory turnover from last 5 years. See, for different decreasing, and then now it started increasing from last 2 years again. Carrying the cost of inventory. Okay, so risk is 39%, freight is 25%, services 19%, storage 12%, admin 6%, like all is present. Then what's the inventory accuracy? So 92.4%. That's what we achieved in inventory accuracy, and out of stock items are 0.94% this year. That's so all information from inventory and supply chain point of view is shown in the form of the SCM. So we will define the criteria to go ahead. So supply chain metrics depicted in this example shows how data-driven supply chain should be monitored and ensure the healthy process of company. Inventory requirement, inventory collection, okay, or inventory usage in the actual process that we can see on the management. Additional focus on inventory management will enable the company to have a clear overview of logistics KPI needed to stay competitive and avoid out of stock merchandise. Yes, out of stock. That's what 0.94% is there from year on from this year. If you compare out of stock, things are not present. We are having sufficient inventory with us. The finished goods are created, goods are manufactured, and then they are supplied to the particular suppliers or the retails. Remember, so by fully utilizing logistic analytics, can stand reap great reward to your logistic business and ultimately manage the customers also. So companies policies are defined, and these policies will be well furnished, well polished with the help of a perfect supply chain management dashboard created where we can summarize the things in inventory logistic format in this particular way there. Okay, so this is what the 4 different types of dashboards are. And under 4 we are having 3 each, to total 12 different kind of dashboards we have seen in this particular topic. Now let's come with the important idea about the dashboard. That's what are the benefits of successful dashboards. Means you have created it. What are the benefits of the dashboard which are successfully created? So successful dashboard implementation will save the time across an organization. Yes, obviously, rather than looking every point one by one analytically or statistically, so we can use a dashboard to summarize all things together, like IT analyst, managers, C-suite. So all organization that we can save the time across. Then we can save companies money by highlighting unnecessary operational cost. Yes. So how much cost is involved in which process and how much money you're spending, how much amount of money you're getting out of it, that we can highlight. Okay, so companies money can be saved by this unnecessary operational cost. Then provide insight into customers behavior. This is very important to know. Every company is actually the what we say the profit gaining process is starting with the customers. We are attracting more and more number of customers, so we'll be having more and more profit out of it. Obviously, this is what the proportionalities are present, and that proportionalities we can achieve by successful implementation of the dashboards. Okay, so that's what insights of customer behavior can be seen. Customers are looking to company in positive way, negative way, neutral way, or if they are loyal to customers, companies, product or services or not. That we can identify. Like we have seen one customer service dashboard in that different kind of strategies, different kind of behavior from the customer's point of view are shown, and that we can use to get attracted towards the more and more customers. Then effectively align strategy with the tactics. Yes, strategy and tactics can be aligned successfully by the dashboard. Ensure a goal driven and performance based data culture. We are given the goals, we are given the targets. Generally goal and target considering same, we are having more attractive name as goal rather than target is not that much popular, basically positively popular. That's why goal driven things are there. So we are going to achieve this particular goal, and how much time will require, how we are progressing. So if you check your progress graphically, it will become easy to understand, and even it will be easy to define the further steps also, what steps you have to take ahead. That also will be deciding over here. Okay, so goal driven and performance based data culture is possible. And the last one, encourages interactivity and analysis. Okay, interactivity and analysis encouragement is possible. So we can get interacted to the particular resources so much effectively, and every sort of analysis in any process involved in the company can be done easily by the graphical visualization summary format I'm talking about. Because lot many processes are, lot many people are, lot many employees are, lot many softwares are there. Their performance we can, if you see in single dashboards, well obviously it will improve the interactivity and analysis phase from company's point of view. Obviously that's why successful dashboards, which is perfect dashboard we'll talk about, is providing this particular benefits to the company or to the management, to the middle management. Like so now if you compare all them together and if you summarize these things, general idea that we can check this: strategic dashboard, tactical analytical dashboard, and operational. Now who uses it? Strategic dashboard is used by senior management. Okay, tactical analytical are used by middle management, and operational used by junior management. See, if you revise the topics that we have seen, strategies defining, tactic defining, analytics or operations, so different levels of managements are used to they're using this dashboard to have a decision making for that. Then what's the time? Okay, how much time is required for the respective management? Like strategic dashboard will have the long term implementation, so fine. Tactical analytical will have medium terms, not so much long, not big lengthy also, not a short also, medium term. And third, operational, that is a routine general ideas. Are junior management uses operational management to operational dashboard to check their routine activities performing well or not. And if you go to complexity level, again similar ideas are strategic dashboard are the most complex dashboards here. The strategy decisions on by connecting or correlating the things together is very difficult task there. Complexity level is high because they are looking for every aspect, every point of time in the company. That's why it's very complex. Then tactical analytical are less complex than the level of complexity, and operational are actually very simple. Junior management just check their progress, as we have seen routine progress, so it's not that much difficult to understand. So simple dashboard is there, which is operational dashboard used by the junior management to check the analysis in the operation. This is what the summary that we can say. If you want to check in details, we'll just have the detailed understanding of the strategy that just we have seen. Fine. Now let's see evolution of dashboard. It's not a big topic actually. Evolution is when it started actually, and now at what particular phase we are there in the dashboard. The idea of digital dashboard followed the study of decision support system in 1970s. Okay, decision support system DSS in short, which is a management activity, and with the help of that management activity it is possible to take the decision based on various factors. A simple idea about the decision system was created, was put in the 1970s for first time as a part of managerial task. to take a decision what different factors are involved, which are shown inside a decision support system. So in early predecessors of modern business dashboard were the first developed in 1980s in the form of executive information systems, that is EIS. Okay, which we are currently the business dashboards we have. Okay, so they are developed in 1980s for first time in the form of EIS system, executive information systems. Now, due to the problems primarily with the data refreshing and handling, it was soon realized that the approach was not practical, as information was often incomplete, unreliable, and spread across too many disparate sources. Okay. It was there. Data refreshing, handling like this was not greatly done. So practically, it was not possible to apply executive information system. So the evaluation done, we are going to generation. We get the pros and cons of it. So if you focus on the disadvantages, so we'll try to remove the disadvantages. Now in 90s, the EIS got hibernated. Okay, and with the information age quickened pace and data warehousing, analytical and analytical processing allowed dashboards to function adequately in 1990. So first time when started, computer was started connecting and interconnected network was created. So it has become easy afterwards to do the operation online, do the analytical processing online basically 90s. And then despite of availability of enabling technologies, the popular dashboards use didn't popular until the late in decade. After that, with the rise of KPI, that is key performance indicators, and the introduction by the Robert Kaplan and David Norton's balanced scorecard was having the first time the KPI added. Now today, if you see, all the dashboards are focusing on the KPIs much, key process indicators, and based on that, the strategical implementation graphical interface of that dashboards are created. In the late 90s, Microsoft promoted the concept known as digital nervous system, or it's called a digital dashboard, where described the being one leg of that concept for first time. Today, if you see, the use of dashboard forms the important part of BPM, business performance management. Now, almost all the things that we generally use, maybe you are having some softwares created, maybe you have some web applications created. We have a dashboard present with us. For example, I just want to have the connectivity, or I want to change something in my company's website. So I'll be given a dashboard, and from that dashboards, we just can move anywhere. Even it will contain the links, so that links will make me available to make the changes or to do the changes in the website at different point of time. So lot many different dashboards are present that they will provide a summarized information to you today. Digital dashboards are now becoming handy, and almost many projects which are done in IT company, which are there from the this data science point of view, they are providing a dashboard, and on dashboard analytical information or any other strategic information that we are talking about can be seen in the graphical format, so that the summary picture of the whole process, data, operation, functions can be seen easily in it. Okay. Yeah, this is what the evaluations that is there for dashboards. And let's talk about one of the most important part of the dashboard here. What are the design principles? I want to design the dashboards now. So what principles I need to look for? 20 design principles are there for the dashboard designs. What we have to look for. So first we'll start with the audience here. Okay, from this point, audience to the never stop evolving. Consider audience, white label embedding, choose KPIs, don't place info on same page, provide context, select right type of dashboard, consider expert, choose layout, round the numbers, prioritize simplicity, optimize multiple devices, choose your colors, don't reuse real-time data, use right type of chart, avoid common mistakes, use animation option, label format, interactive elements, double margin, never stop evolving. That's what, see, 20 different design principles are there. Out of that, few design principles are very commonly used to design the dashboard. So whenever you are creating a dashboard for any particular project, so we need to look for this point specially one by one. Let's see what design principles are there from the dashboard point of view. So that's required for ideal development. Generally, this is what we are having a standard process to design it. but we generally try to move away from the standard procedures. We study for the examination, and generally we don't use. We just have your own idea. I will design like that. It's okay, but standard architecture, standard procedures we need to follow. That's present in the design principles. So let's see one by one how to do. Consider your audience. Okay, audience means who will be using your dashboard. That's what your audience is. Concerning dashboard best practices design, your audience is one of the most important principle you have to take into account. You need to know who is going to use the dashboard. That is your audience. So, to do so successfully, you need to put yourself in your audience shoes. Okay, you need to put yourself in your audience shoes. The context and device on which users will regularly access the dashboard will have direct consequences on style in which the information is displayed. Whether he is comfortable with understanding of it or not. If it is comfortable, then only create that kind of designs. Who is the user? Will the dashboard be viewed on the go? In silence at the office desk will be displayed as a presentation in front of some large audience or not? So that things are what we look from the consider audience. Audience are easily accessible. So even if they are somewhat like they know the statistical information well. So we can have statistics also, graphical information well. That's what the first principle that we know. So for whom this dashboard is created. Now, second, don't display all information. All means everything is present. I try to display it. So if your screen is very small and everything you are just going to show it over there, what will happen in such cases? So next is that question of information that we have. This is the most golden dashboard design principle, refers to both precision and the right audience of targeting. Okay, right audience. So you know that he's a manager. So what sort of information he will look for? Only from that point of view, dashboard should be created. That's it. You should never create one size fits all dashboard. Yes, everyone can use it. Okay, see, I'm creating a software where student and faculty both logins are there. Correct. So when students are using, if they are shown with how much salary the faculty is having, statistics are shown there. So what's the use of it? It's not of use. Fine. So they will only focus on their data. Faculty will use their faculty data. Student will use the faculty student data. Like all. So it's not like one size fits all. No. Don't cram all information into the same page. Depending upon the user, administrator, depending upon the type of data, just can change it things. So you can have multiple links also. If I click on that link, this information will be there. Another link, that information will be there. Another link, that information there. This kind of things are, but all information should be categorized according to different kind of dashboards. So think about your audience as a group of individuals who have different needs. Like sales manager doesn't need to see same data on marketing specialist. Why is required? No. HR department or professional logistic analyst, they are not concerned with each other. They don't know. They don't want any others information. So why do I use apply such things there? So don't use all information at the same time. Different kind of dashboard we have seen. If you combine all together, see how much big dashboard will be created, and it will be confusing for the user also where to look for. Correct. Next design principle. Choose the relative key performance indicators, KPIs. Connected KPIs only. So for truly effective KPI dashboard design, selecting the right key performance indicator for your business needs is a must, compulsory, right? Why it's important? Because your KPI will help to shape the direction of your dashboard, as these metrics will display visual representation of relative insights based on the specific area of the business, specific areas of business that will be focused. That's what KPI will help us to do. Once you have determined your ultimate goals and consider your target audience, okay, you will be able to select best KPIs to feature in your dashboard. Best KPIs that will be presented there. So see, your performance indicator can be multiple, but out of it, which where highest focus is required, only that KPIs will be given importance in the picture at actual. So which are connected to the idea that I want to represent over there in the graphical format, that relative KPIs only required to show. Else it will create a complete garbage kind of data types. Remember, select the right type of dashboard. So what type of dashboard is there? Remember to build a responsive dashboard that will fit all type of screen. There's a smartphone, PC, or a tablet. How? So if your dashboard will be displayed as a presentation or printed, make sure it's possible to contain all key information within one page. Is it actually possible there? So on what situation, what type of dashboard you have to choose? We have seen all four types. Now what kind of dashboard is required, that we have to focus on. So what is that? Strategic. A dashboard focus on monitoring long-term company strategies by analyzing the benchmarking a wide range of critical and trend-based information. If higher level management is there, then higher level management will look for that strategies only. It's monitoring long-term company strategy. Long-term, I just want to have a vision and I'm trying to try that vision, performing operation based on that. Long-term things are there. So strategic. Operational are short-term, shortest actually. So business intelligence tool that exist monitor, measure and manage processes or operation with a shorter or more immediate intermediate time scale is there. That time operational is okay. Senior junior level management which are using the operational kind of dashboard, that is. Analytical, the name suggests the meaning. This particular dashboard contains a large stream of comprehensive data that allows analysts to drill down and extract insights to help companies progress and the executive level. Okay, that's what we can do. Every sort of analytics, we have to push the company to another level of improvement. That's done by the analytical dashboard. If you want to do that, you can see types, as I said, 12 different type of dashboards are there. So you can choose any one of them based on analytical. 3 types are there. And then the fourth one, tactical. These information rich dashboards are best suited to mid management and help formulating growth strategies based on trend, strength and weaknesses across multiple departments. Okay, so depending upon the situation, we need to use the respective data dashboard type. Next one, provide context. Without providing the context, state, that we can say, status. Now, without providing a context, how will you know whether these numbers are good or bad, or they're typical or unusual? What is your viewpoint towards it? That's what we call as a context. Okay, good or bad means what is plus is good or minus is good. Okay, getting profit, plus is good, loss, minus is good. Remember, okay, that is context. Without comparison values, numbers on dashboard are meaningless for users, and more importantly, they want to know whether any action is required. They don't know whether any action is required. So we have to provide that one. If it is higher, if the threshold values are there, if it is going above that, then just show the heat map fashion. Heat map, like we'll see tomorrow what is heat map. In the colors intensity, we can show it over there. For example, management dashboard design will focus on high level metrics that easy to compare, subsequently offer a visual story. At managerial level, different design patterns are there, so that's can be chosen, and management will decide on that what will do on it. Always try to provide maximum information, even if some of them seems obvious to you, so your audience might find them perplexing. Okay, that's what context, maximum amount of context should be provided, should be available in it. Now choose the right chart. Different kind of chart, we have seen all many charts. After that, we are having another topic of chart, different kind of the graphs present, and different ways are there by which you can visualize your data. So out of all, which chart we have to make use of, which graph we have to make use of. So we can't stress enough in importance of choosing right data visualization types. You can destroy all of your effort and missing correct chart type. That's also possible. It's important to understand what type of information you want to convey and choose data visualization suited to the task. I just want to show the proportion of the profit from all the departments, or how much amount of money you spend while running that particular department. If you have to show that, so I can use a pie chart. Pie chart. So percentage format will be shown out of all how much percent this department has carried. Second department carried. Third department carried. Okay, I want to show the progress by year. Can you have a line chart? Okay, or I want to show the location on connectivity of two different variables. Like when I'm using that, how much percent of gain I'm getting. So I can use a scatter plot, line plot for that. I want to see how much amount of frequency of respective data is gathered in a group. So I can use a histogram. Likewise, so this is what we have. So let's like line charts are great when it comes to displaying patterns of change across the continuum. So you can make use of different kind of charts like bar chart, as we know, scatter plot, histogram, etc. So this different kind of the charts, different kind of the graphs can be used to perform or to have the data visualization in a particular way. Choose the right chart. It should not be confusing that I want to show this information and which chart is useful. So I'll get confused completely. So it should not happen. See, if you want to show relationship, so you can have scatter plot or bubble plot. If you want to show distribution, then we can have column chart or histogram or scatter plot also. If you want to show comparison, so we can have table, we can have spider chart, we can have bar chart. And according to time, if you want to show comparison, so we can use line chart, area chart, column chart. Okay. If you want to show composition, multiple variable at a time, composition. In static, we can have pie chart, waterfall chart. I'll show you what the meaning of it, how we use that. If you don't know the idea of it, like waterfall chart, what's the meaning of it? Talk about it. Dynamic composition, like stacked column chart, that is stacked bar chart we call, and stacked area chart, they are above each other. Composition of multiple variables. So depending upon your requirement in the dashboard, so we can choose the respective type of the chart. So the information that we want to convey in the dashboard will be conveyed easily, effectively. Okay. Next, choose the careful layout. Important to know what sort of layout we have. So multiple layouts are there that we can use, and based on that layout, your data location variable changes. Even size of the graph will also change. So the dashboard's best practice in design concern more than just good metrics and well thought out chart. So the next step is to placement of charts on dashboards. If your dashboard is visually organized, user will easily find information that they need. They just don't want to look at where is that information present. It's not like will take some time to check the information. So if it is very much complex in terms of visual representation, not good. Okay, so layout should be fine. So examples which I shown in this particular slide, okay, they are correct. They are ideal versions of kind of dashboards were there. Okay, so layout was great that we can find. A poor layout forces users to think more before they grasp the point. Yes, and nobody likes to look for the data in the jungle of charts and numbers. Yes, very large. The jungle is there. Everything is present in it, and you are searching what kind of things are there. So try to put precise information only in summary format. So layout be chosen clearly. So design of this kind of dashboard will not have a jungle of information on that front page. Next one, prioritize the simplicity. So it should be as simple as possible. Priority should be given to simplicity. So one of the best practices for dashboard design is to focus on the simplicity of it. Nowadays, many options for chart creations are possible. Many interactive graphs are there. Most of the graphs are not easily known. Those who are working in data science visualization, they will only know, oh yeah, this is the correct chart that I can choose or use. But if general users are not knowing it, he will try to identify what designer want to say, show from that graph will look for that only. Will use the brain, and then different interpretation may also be generated from that. May be possible. Okay. So that's what. Nowadays we can play with a lot of options in chart creation, and it's tempting to use them all at once. Is it? It's not possible. So frames, backgrounds, effects, grid lines. Okay, these options might be useful sometimes, but only when there is a reason for applying them. Okay, whether you have to apply background, which that background. This chart got a different background, this got other different backgrounds. Effects, if they are required, that time only use it. If it is not, then use simple graphs. Moreover, the careful about labels, what label you have to give there, or what legend you have to play. Legend means the information window that we can see for the graph is present. Or font, size, color. Don't use very dark fonts or some very different kind of font, which is not professional, unprofessional kind of fonts are used. So it will reduce the simplicity of your design in that case. Colors also, dark colors or some faint professional colors should be present and available. Round your numbers. When you're designing this in a programming language, see, programming language will show something 10.3532131 line 5621. So like 10 digits are there after that. Sometime we may require that, but sometime we may have directly rounding a number, round up or round down, as we can use. So continuing on simplicity, rounding the numbers on your dashboard design should be also one of the priorities, since we don't want your audience to be flooded with numerous decimal place, lot many. Keep it to, okay. Yes, you want to present details, but sometimes you too many details give the wrong impression. So if you want to present your conversion rate with 5 or more decimals, it will be sense to round a number to avoid too many number specific factors. List 2 digits only after the dot. General design principle that we have to look for. Okay, professional design, which when you require, so that things you need to keep in mind. The letter may exaggerate minor element, in this case sense, which are effective data story isn't necessarily a dashboard design process. Directly use it. So next, be careful about colors. Most of the time, you may be knowing the company is recognized by the colors. They are having a standard color. They are using some colors, specific colors in their logos, and same color they are used everywhere, like on the letterheads or on the let's say your visiting cards. So similar colors are chosen. Most of the color is the identity of the company. So without a shadow of doubt, this is one of the most important of all dashboard design best practices. This particular point may seem incongruous to what we said up to this point, but the options are personalized and customize your creations to your preferences. Okay, so choose your color. Most of the time, the colors which are there, which are used very commonly in the design of the company's products, company's website, that we can use here in it. So interactive nature of data dashboard means that you can let go of PowerPoint style presentation for 90s. It should not be done. So the modern dashboard is minimalist and clean. Flat design is really trendy nowadays. Common easy designs, fresh colors, commonly used colors which are present as a part of representation of your company. So that's will be the great idea to create a dashboard from that point of view. The next one. Okay, yeah. So our final suggestion concerning color is to mindful when using a traffic light colors. Like, that's what we are. We have seen that in one of the dashboards also. Like people, red means stop or bad means stop or bad, and green means good or go. Then check if up arrow you have to show, so show it in green color, and if down arrow is a red color. That's like we have seen in the LinkedIn dashboard that we have shown, and the YouTube dashboard also which I have shown. So there also same concepts are there. Green means you're progressing, you're good. Red means it's dangerous, bad. Okay, so this distinction can prove very useful when designing dashboards, but only when you see the colors accordingly, right? Number is the secondary part. Color creates maximum impact. Okay, more impact basically on it. That's why colors are important. Don't go over with the real-time data. The next principle, don't go over with the real-time data. So good dashboard design tips refer inside, don't overuse the real-time data. Continuously it's showing it like second by second representation is there. Is it required? Not actually. Maybe we require data for minute by minute or hour by hour, or maybe you require day by day. Real-time data is okay, but it creates too much overheads in the system, dashboard system. So in some cases, information displayed is too much detail, only serves to lead the distraction. Continuous progress, second by second. So show is in hour by hour or by day by day. Okay, it depends what sort of information they are actually showing over there. Unless you're tracking some live results, most dashboard don't need to update continually. Yes, without live results are not there. See, for example, you have to monitor the progress of companies software development. Second by second information is not required, day by day is required. IT project management, day by day, how it is progressed. So today 1% progress, 1 second 1% progress will not happen. So that's what continual improvement. On what basis the improvement should be shown on real-time data? So real-time data serves as a paint a picture of general situation or a trend. Okay, so that's what we have to remember when real-time data is used. So on what basis the updation should be shown, continuously, continually, or what basis? So most project management dashboard must only be updated periodically, like on weekly basis, daily basis, hourly basis. After all, it's the right data that counts the most. Okay, so it may create huge impact on the data system also. Like if you have seen that in YouTube's also, it's updating hour by hour actually. Okay, not second by second. What has happened in this second? How it's happened in this second? Day by day also. Last 28 days information shown in the graphical format. So what pattern you have to follow, periodically pattern that you have to follow. It's also very important to know on real-time data analysis. Yes, consistent labeling and formatting. It's a design principle for every professional system, actually, labeling and formatting. So above all else, in terms of functionality, the main aim of extract important insight at swift glance. So it's critical to make that your labeling API tools and metrics. Everywhere, same labels, similar kind of labeling methods, similar fonts we have, similar kind of formatting we have. Like somewhere you again underline, somewhere is bold, somewhere is so labeling for related metrics or KPIs is widely different. It causes a confusion. Slow down your data analysis activities and increase your chances of making mistakes. That particular design so much effectively, and bilateral design is very commonly possible. So being 100% consistent across the board is paramount to designing dashboard that works. Consistency is very important factor. So professional design contain the consistency that we have to. This is part of practice actually in a design. But before doing it, just we have to focus on all that design principle very common, very effectively. Okay. Now use interactive elements that will fit in the mind of the user or viewer we are viewing that. So any comprehensive dashboard what its salt will allow you to dig deep in certain fields. Use a bar chart also for comparison. So for department second, third, interactivity will be great. Many graphs are having this interactive element present. So we can add it there. Maybe somewhere we require a grid like in scatter plot. So it will exactly identify, okay, what point is that? Not only showing the progress, but I have a grid will have interactivity in this. This is what simple example I'm talking about. When considering what makes a good dashboard, factoring drill downs, click to filter and time interval widgets, your design is vital. Drill down is a smart interactive feature that allows the user to drill down the more comprehensive dashboard information related to a particular element, variable, or KPI without design. Too much crowd is there. Too much complexity in the design is present and available. So that should not happen. Interactivity should grow. will have maximum information, minimum input. Okay, minimum results, maximum thing can be seen. So in single graph also you can have multiple comparisons. That's also possible. It's choosing a graph. That's what we have seen previously. It's important factor while designing the dashboards. The next one, use animation option can be useful in many cases. Animations, we are progressing. So one of the dashboard element that gives an additional neat visual impression where you select appearance specific element on the dashboard and assign the animation options. So can I animate that? Can I see how I am progressing? So continuously, so I start, that's fine. The result will be simple yet effective automated movement based on the desired speed, slow, medium, fast, or like linear swing, is in, is out are there. So that kind of animation options can be added. Based on that, interactive visualization in the animation format can be done in the dashboard. So as per requirement only, not only every time you are seeing everything graphically visualizing. It depends how the progress are there. If you're comparing two things, so both are progressing, one is progressing fastly, one is slowly, like that we can have in animation, we can compare over there. Double your margins. Okay, double your margin. So maybe most of the time you don't have to set that data within the specific type, so you double it. One of the most subtle and yet essential dashboard guidelines is principle to boil down the balance. White space. White space, also referred as negative space, is the area of blankness between elements featured in the dashboard design. How much space you are keeping in between, that's what is the margin, white space. So users are not typically aware about the pivotal role that space plays in visual composition, but designers pay great deal of attention to it because when metrics, statistics, and insights are unbalanced, they are difficult to digest. That, remember, balance is not great. Somewhere you show in percent format, somewhere you show in some different kind of format. Let's say somewhere the things are given in the sorry, distance are given in say inches, somewhere they are given centimeters. Completely different statistics, different insights are there. So if they are not matching, so obviously this will not be a good idea, good design methodology that we are following over here. Optimize for multiple devices. This is also very essential because we are not stick to a particular device only. I'm having a dashboard. I can use that on the laptop. I can see that on my mobile. I can see that on tablet. Multiple different ways are there which we can see. So optimization for mobile or tablet is another critical point on dashboard development process. By offering a remote access to your most important insight, you can answer critical business questions on the go without need of special offer meeting. Okay, so all everywhere I just want to use a desktop or I want to use a laptop also, sorry, your mobile phone also, tablet also, so it should be easily accessible to multiple devices. So benefits of such swift decision making and instance access ensure everyone has a possibility to look the data on the fly. Anyone, so if I'm having this laptop, so I can use it. If you're having a mobile phone, so you can use it there also. So it makes the sense to keep in mind that dashboard layout is not same in the desktop. Okay, the layout of dashboard which is shown for YouTube, it's not exactly same on the mobile got a different dashboard methods. Accessible, it is modifiable, it's reusable in different kind of platforms. That's what one of the design principle is present. So mobile dashboard has smaller screen, therefore placement of elements will differ. If you use the same thing, so you just have to use specs to read that. If the mobile dashboards and the desktop dashboards are same, that will happen in the case. Few more principles are there that we will see in the tomorrow's sessions. But today's session, if you have any doubts or questions, we can answer. It's completely theoretical. Nothing is practical actually. The thing that we have to look for the data dashboard point of view. So we need to remember that. We'll see the single remaining practical of it once these topics are over tomorrow. So if you have any questions or doubts, you can ask. Remaining part will continue from the tomorrow's session. Okay, so I'll upload this presentation on the given link. The presentation not present over there. when the presentation is over, so you can when the topic is over, you can download from that particular link also. Okay, so if any questions, you can ask. Okay, so no questions. Thank you. Thanks a lot.